Religion in the United Kingdom and in the countries that preceded it has been dominated, for over 1,400 years, by various forms of Christianity. Religious affiliations of United Kingdom citizens are recorded by regular surveys, the four major ones being the UK Census, the Labour Force Survey, the British Social Attitude Survey and the European Social Survey. According to the 2011 UK Census, Christianity is the major religion, followed by Islam, Hinduism, Sikhism, Judaism and Buddhism in terms of number of adherents. This, and the relatively large number of individuals with nominal and no religious affiliations, has led commentators to variously describe the United Kingdom as a multi-faith, secularised, or post-Christian society. The United Kingdom was formed by the union of previously independent countries from 1707, and consequently most of the largest religious groups do not have UK-wide organisational structures, while some groups have separate structures for the individual countries of the United Kingdom. Others may have a single structure covering England and Wales or Great Britain. Similarly, due to the relatively recent creation of Northern Ireland in 1921, most major religious groups in Northern Ireland are organised on an all-Ireland basis. History. Pre-Roman forms of religion in Britain included various forms of ancestor worship and paganism. Little is known about the details of such religions. Forms of Christianity have dominated religious life in what is now the United Kingdom for over 1,400 years. It was introduced by the Romans to what is now England, Wales, and southern Scotland. The doctrine of Pelagianism, declared heretical in the Council of Carthage of 418, originated with a British-born ascetic, Pelagius. The Anglo-Saxon invasions briefly reintroduced paganism in the 5th and 6th centuries. Christianity was again brought to Great Britain by Roman, Catholic and Irish-Scottish missionaries in the course of the 7th century. Insular Christianity as it stood between the 6th and 8th centuries retained some idiosyncrasies in terms of liturgy and calendar, but it had been nominally united with Roman Christianity since at least the Synod of Whitby of 664. Still in the Anglo-Saxon period, the archbishops of Canterbury established a tradition of receiving the pallium from Rome to symbolize the authority of the Pope. Roman Catholicism remained the dominant form of Western Christianity, including in Britain, throughout the Middle Ages, but the Church of England became the independent established church in England and Wales from 1534 as a result of the English Reformation. It retains a representation in the UK Parliament and the British monarch as its supreme governor. In Scotland, the Presbyterian Church of Scotland, established in a separate Scottish Reformation in the 16th century, is recognised as the national church. It is not subject to state control, and the British monarch is an ordinary member, required to swear an oath to maintain and preserve the Protestant religion and Presbyterian church government upon his accession. The adherents to Roman Catholicism continued at various levels in different parts of Britain, especially among recusants and in the north of England, but most strongly in Ireland. This would expand in Great Britain, partly due to Irish immigration in the 19th century, the Catholic Emancipation and the restoration of the English hierarchy, particularly from the mid-17th century, forms of Protestant nonconformity, including Congregationalists, Baptists, Quakers, and, later, Methodists, grew outside of the established church. The Church in Wales was disestablished in 1920 and, as the Church of Ireland was disestablished in 1870 before the partition of Ireland, there is no established church in Northern Ireland. The Jews in England were expelled in 1290 and only emancipated in the 19th century. British Jews had numbered fewer than 10,000 in 1800 but around 120,000 after 1881 when Russian Jews settled permanently in Britain. The substantial immigration to the United Kingdom since the 1920s has contributed to the growth of foreign faiths, especially of Islam, Hinduism and Sikhism. Buddhism in the United Kingdom experienced growth partly due to immigration and partly due to conversion. As elsewhere in the Western world, religious demographics have become part of the discourse on multiculturalism, with Britain variously described as a post-Christian society, as multi-faith, or as secularised. Statistics. The statistics for current religion from 2011 census and the corresponding statistics from the 2001 census are set out in the tables below. Surveys. Religious affiliations of UK citizens are recorded by regular surveys, the four major ones being the UK Census, the Labour Force Survey, the British Social Attitude Survey and the European Social Survey. The different questions asked by these surveys produce different results. The census for England and Wales asked the question, "What is your religion?" In 2001 14.81% and in 2011 around a quarter of the population said they had none, and 59.5% stated they were Christian. The census for Scotland asked the question, "What religion, religious denomination or body do you belong to?" In 2001 27.55% and in 2011 36.7% selected none, and 53.8% stated they were Christian. The Labour Force survey asked the question, "What is your religion even if you are not currently practicing?" with a response of 15.7% selecting no religion in 2004 and 22.4% selecting no religion in 2010. The British Social Attitude Survey asked the question, "Do you regard yourself as belonging to any particular religion?" with 49% selecting no religion in 2014. The European Social Survey asked the question, "Which religion or denomination do you belong to at present?" with 50.54% of respondents selecting no religion in 2002 and 52.68% selecting no religion in 2008. The wording of the question affects the outcome of polls, as is apparent when comparing the results of the Scottish census with that of the English and Welsh census. An ICM poll for The Guardian in 2006 asked the question, "Which religion do you yourself belong to?" with a response of 64% stating Christian and 26% stating none. In the same survey, 63% claimed they are not religious, with just 33% claiming they are. This suggests that the religious UK population identify themselves as having Christian beliefs, but maybe not as active churchgoers. The British Social Attitude Surveys and the European Social Surveys are fielded to adult individuals. In contrast, the United Kingdom Census and the Labour Force Surveys are household surveys. The respondent completes the questionnaire on behalf of each member of the household, including children as well as for themselves. The 2010 Labour Force Survey claimed that 54% of children aged from birth to 4 years were Christian, rising to 59% for children aged between 5 and 9 and 65% for children aged between 10 and 14. The inclusion of children with adult-imposed religions influences the results of the polls. Other major polls agree with the British Social Attitude Surveys and the European Social Surveys, with a YouGov survey fielded in February 2012 indicating that 43% of respondents claimed to belong to a religion and 76% claimed they were not very religious or not religious at all. An Ipsos Mori survey fielded in August 2003 indicated that 18% of respondents claimed to be a practicing member of an organized religion, and 25% claimed I am a non-practicing member of an organized religion. A 2015 study estimated some 25,000 believers in Christ from a Muslim background, most of whom belong to an evangelical or Pentecostal community. Religious affiliations. In the 2011 census, Christianity was the largest religion, stated as their affiliation by 59.5% of respondents. This figure was found to be 53% in the 2007 Tier Fund survey, 42.9% in the 2009 British Social Attitudes survey, and 42.98% in the EU-funded European Social Survey published in April 2009 for those identifying as Christian. Although there was no UK-wide data in the 2001 of the 2011 census on adherence to individual Christian denominations, Kerry Peach estimated in 2005 that 62% of Christians were Anglican, 13.5% Roman Catholic, 6% Presbyterian and 3.4% Methodist, with small numbers in other Protestant denominations and the Orthodox Church. The 2009 British Social Attitudes survey, which covers Great Britain but not Northern Ireland, indicated that over 50% would self-classify as not religious at all. 19.9% were part of the Church of England, 9.3% non-denominational Christian, 8.6% Roman Catholic, 2.2% Presbyterian, Church of Scotland, 1.3% Methodist, 0.53% Baptist, 1.17% other Protestant, 0.23% United Reformed Church Congregational, 0.06% Free Presbyterian, 0.03% Brethren Christian and 0.41% Other Christian. In a 2015 survey conducted by BSA on religious affiliation, 49% of respondents indicated no religion, 42% indicated they were Christians, followed by 8% affiliated with non-Christian religions. Religions other than Christianity, such as Islam, Hinduism, Sikhism and Judaism, have established a presence in the United Kingdom, both through immigration and by attracting converts. Others that have done so include the Baha'i faith, the Rastafari movement and neo-paganism. Attendance. Society in the United Kingdom is markedly more secular than it was in the past, and the number of churchgoers fell over the second half of the 20th century. The Ipsos Mori poll in 2003 reported that 18% were a practicing member of an organized religion. The Tier Fund survey in 2007 found that only 7% of the population considered themselves as practicing Christians, 10% attend church weekly, and 2/3 had not gone to church in the past year. The Tier Fund survey also found that 2/3 of UK adults, 32.2 million people, have no connection with the church at present. These people were evenly divided between those who have been in the past but have since left and those who have never been in their lives. A survey in 2002 found Christmas attendance at Anglican churches in England varied between 10.19% of the population in the Diocese of Hereford, down to just 2.16% in Manchester. Church attendance at Christmas in some dioceses was up to 3 times the average for the rest of the year. Overall church attendance at Christmas has been steadily increasing in recent years. A 2005 poll found that 43% expected to attend a church service over the Christmas period, in comparison with 39% and 33% for corresponding polls taken in 2003 and 2001 respectively. A December 2007 report by Christian Research showed that Roman Catholicism services had become the best attended services of Christian denominations in England, with average attendance at Sunday Mass of 861,000, compared to 852,000 attending Anglican services. Attendance at Anglican services had declined by 20% between 2000 and 2006, while attendance at Catholic services, boosted by large-scale immigration from Poland and Lithuania, had declined by only 13%. In Scotland, attendance at Church of Scotland services declined by 19% and attendance at Catholic services fell by 25%. British social attitudes surveys have shown the proportion of those in Great Britain who consider they belong to Christianity to have fallen from 66% in 1983 to 43% in 2009. In 2012, regular church attendance in the United Kingdom was 6% of the population, with the average age of attendees being 51, a decline in church attendance since 1980, when regular attendance stood at 11% with an average age of 37. It is predicted that by 2020 attendance will be around 4% with an average age of 56. This decline in church attendance has forced many churches to close down across the United Kingdom, with the Church of England alone closing 1,500 churches between 1969 and 2002. The fates include dereliction, demolition and residential conversion. In October 2014, weekly attendance at Church of England services dropped below 1 million for the first time. At Christmas 2014, 2.4 million attended. For that year, baptisms were 130,000, down 12% since 2004, marriages were 50,000, down 19%, and funerals 146,000, down 29%. The Church estimated that about 1% of churchgoers were lost to death each year. The Church's age profile suggested that attendances would continue to decline. One study showed that in 2004 at least 930,000 Muslims attended a mosque at least once a week, just outnumbering the 916,000 regular churchgoers in the Church of England. Muslim sources claim the number of practicing Muslims is underestimated, as many of them pray at home. Believe there is a disparity between the figures for those identifying themselves with a particular religion and for those proclaiming a belief in a God. In a 2011 YouGov poll, 34% of UK citizens said they believed in a God or gods. A Eurobarometer opinion poll in 2010 reported that 37% of UK citizens believe there is a God, 33% believe there is some sort of spirit or life force, and 25% answered, "I don't believe there is any sort of spirit, God or life force." The 2008 European Social Survey suggested that 46.94% of UK citizens never prayed and 18.96% prayed daily. A survey in 2007 suggested that 42% of adults resident in the United Kingdom prayed, with 1 in 6 praying daily. Jedi census phenomenon. In the 2001 census, 390,127 individuals in England and Wales self-identified as followers of the Jedi faith. This Jedi census phenomenon followed an internet campaign that stated, incorrectly, that the Jedi belief system would receive official government recognition as a religion if it received enough support in the census. An email in support of the campaign, quoted by BBC News, invited people to do it because you love Star Wars, or just to annoy people.